They say love makes you blind. But what they don't say is that sometimes, it also makes you stupid. And naive. And overly polite when you should have walked out 10 minutes in. First of all, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. My name's Emily. 26. Graphic designer. Reader. Overthinker. Pretty good at pretending things are fine when they're not. I'd been dating Tyler for just over a year. Met him at a friend's housewarming. He was charming in that low-key, safe kind of way. No red flags, no wild stories. Just steady, kind, and maybe a little too into fantasy football. We didn't move too fast. Took our time. First date was coffee. Second was a bookstore. Third was sushi, where he spent the entire night explaining the stock market to me. Somehow, I still liked him after that. Things were good. Normal. Comfortable. We laughed. Shared playlists. Spent weekends watching terrible action movies and pretending we understood crypto. He talked about the future sometimes. Moving in. Traveling. Kids, maybe. I wasn't sure I believed him, but it sounded nice. We'd planned a dinner. Nothing fancy. Just a casual Friday night thing at this little Italian place I loved. Candlelight, soft music, their bread came with roasted garlic butter that could solve most world problems. I got there first. Red dress, slight nerves. Lipstick I kept smudging and fixing. When Tyler walked in, I smiled. Until I saw her. His mother. He waved like nothing was wrong. Hey. Sorry we're late. This is my mom, Beverly. She stepped forward, hand out. It's so nice to finally meet you. I shook it. Cold fingers. Strong grip. I tried to play it cool. Forced a smile. Laughed a little. You didn't tell me we were having company, I said. Tyler just shrugged. Thought it'd be fun. Fun. We sat. Booth meant for two, now crowded with three. I was wedged between the wall and Beverly. She didn't waste time. So, Emily, what exactly is it that you do again? I'm a graphic designer. I work mostly with nonprofits. Oh. So, not a real job, then. I blinked. Tyler sipped his water. Didn't say a word. Well, I mean, it pays, I said, trying to laugh. She leaned in. And you went to college for that? Yes. Huh. And your parents supported that choice? I felt my shoulders stiffen. They were proud of me, I said. Interesting, she said, and stabbed her salad like it had insulted her family. 10 minutes in, I had sweat running down my back. Tyler just smiled between bites. When she started asking if I wanted kids, how many, was I fertile, did I believe in homeschooling, I looked at him. He was cutting into lasagna like this was the most normal night of his life. I laughed. Out loud. A weird, choked sound. Excuse me, I said. I got up. Walked to the bathroom. Locked the door. I stared at myself in the mirror. Lipstick gone. Eyes wide. This wasn't a date. This was an interview. I texted my best friend, he brought his MOM. 3 dots. Then, WTF? When I walked back, Beverly was sipping wine. Tyler looked up, cheerful. You okay? I nodded. Saturday. Picked up my fork. Ate a single bite of cold penne. Then she leaned in again. So, tell me, Emily. How many partners have you had before Tyler? I froze. Excuse me? You know. Experience. It matters. I stared at Tyler. He blinked. It's just a question. And something inside me snapped. I didn't throw the wine. But I wish I had. Instead, I set my fork down. Took a long sip of water. Looked at Beverly, then at Tyler. You think it's okay to ask someone how many people they've slept with over pasta bolognese? Beverly blinked. It's important to know your son is making good choices. I'm not a credit score, Beverly. I'm a person. She smiled like she was being patient. Like I was the child. Tyler finally spoke. It's not a big deal. She's just curious. No, Tyler. Curious is asking about my favorite movie. This is invasive. You're overreacting. And there it was. The tone. The subtle dismissal. Like I was the unstable one for expecting basic decency. I laughed again, sharp and short. Then I turned to Beverly. Here's your answer, none of your business. She gasped. Clutched her pearls. Literally. I didn't think people actually did that until that moment. Tyler looked like I'd kicked his dog. You don't have to be rude. Rude? Rude is inviting me to a date and ambushing me with your mother. Rude is sitting silently while she interrogates me like I'm applying to join a cult. I thought you two would get along. Get along? Tyler, she asked if I was fertile. Beverly sniffed. If you can't handle a simple conversation, maybe you're not mature enough for a serious relationship. I stood. You know what? You're absolutely right. If this is what a serious relationship looks like, I'll pass. Tyler stood too. You're blowing this out of proportion. I grabbed my coat. My purse. No, Tyler. You just never realized what a proportion even was. And then I walked out. It wasn't dramatic. No one clapped. But as the door shut behind me, I felt something I hadn't felt in a while. Clarity. I called a rideshare. Sat on the curb while the cool night air hit my skin. It felt like exhaling after holding my breath for months. He didn't follow me. Didn't text. Didn't call. Good. I got home. Took off the dress. Threw it on a chair. Poured a glass of wine and FaceTimed my best friend. You left, she said. Yup. Queen behavior. I laughed, and it felt real. The next day, I blocked his number. Deleted the photos. Cleared the playlists. I thought it was over. But then, 2 weeks later, I got a letter. Handwritten. From Beverly. It arrived on a Wednesday. No return address. Cream-colored envelope. The kind people use for wedding invites or thank you notes. The handwriting was elegant. Slanted. The kind of cursive you only see from people who still send Christmas cards in July. I knew it was from her before I opened it. Inside, one page. Folded neatly. Dear Emily. I wanted to write to you directly. I'm aware that our dinner was tense. I believe emotions got the better of all of us. It's unfortunate things ended the way they did. I hope you understand that as a mother, I only want what's best for my son. Tyler is my only child. He deserves someone who shares our values, who understands commitment and tradition. I sensed that perhaps we were not aligned. I wish you peace and clarity moving forward. Beverly. No apology. No regret. Just a gentle reminder that she thought I wasn't good enough for her son. I should have laughed. Burned it. Moved on. But I didn't. I read it again. And again. Something in me simmered. Maybe because it felt so tidy. So civil. As if she hadn't tried to disassemble me over breadsticks. I imagined writing back. Drafted 4 different versions. One diplomatic. One savage. One where I corrected her grammar. One where I said nothing but drew a middle finger in red ink. I put the letter in a drawer. Left it there like a splinter. Life moved on. Kind of. Work stayed busy. I threw myself into design projects. Spent late nights with podcasts and peppermint tea. Slept with my phone on silent. I stopped dating. For a while. I needed to breathe. Regroup. Relearn who I was without constantly adjusting to someone else's comfort. I journaled. Took long walks. Even tried yoga once. Hated it. Too many feet. I remembered the little ways I used to take up space. The loud laugh. The bright lipstick. The oversized sunglasses. I started bringing them back. I also remembered the times I made myself smaller. At dinner parties. In meeting rooms. With Tyler. Especially with Beverly. That letter wasn't about closure. It was about control. About reminding me I had been assessed. And found lacking. But I wasn't. That realization didn't come in a big moment. It came in a dozen tiny ones. Laughing with my sister over brunch. Fixing a stubborn font at 2 a.m., smiling at a stranger and meaning it. Then, one afternoon, I saw Tyler. 3 blocks from my apartment. Grocery store parking lot. He didn't see me. He was walking with someone new. Blonde. Petite. Laughing like nothing in the world could go wrong. And behind them, 2 steps back? Beverly. Pushing the cart. Matching coats. Matching purses. Same smile she wore that night at the restaurant. I stood there frozen, a loaf of sourdough in one hand, wondering if the new girl knew. If she knew what it meant to date a man who always brought a chaperone. I didn't wave. Didn't say anything. I just watched as they disappeared into the automatic doors, like some sitcom family that had never imploded. That night, I opened Beverly's letter one last time. Then I shredded it. Not out of anger. But because I finally could. After the grocery store sighting, I couldn't unsee it. I kept replaying the moment, Tyler's arm linked with someone else, Beverly hovering like a guardian angel with a clipboard. The new girl looked young. Happy. A little like I used to. And I felt something that surprised me, not jealousy, not even anger. Pity. Because I'd seen that movie. I'd starred in the first half. And I knew exactly how it ended. But still, it stuck with me. I'd like to say I brushed it off and moved on. But I didn't. It lingered. Not because I wanted him back, God, no, but because there was a part of me that still wanted to win. To be the one who came out stronger. Unbothered. Whole. So I started going out again. Coffee dates. Trivia nights. One very weird escape room experience with a guy named Kyle who wore sunglasses indoors and kept calling me Miss E. But nothing stuck. Until Andrew. We met at a bookstore. Cliché, I know. I was holding a copy of The Bell Jar and he asked if it was a thriller. I laughed in his face. He took it well. He had this calm energy. The kind that didn't fill the room but made space in it. We grabbed coffee. Talked about design, he was an architect. He never once asked about my past. I liked that. We went slow. No fireworks. Just warmth. Consistency. Safety. A few months in, he invited me to meet his friends. I froze. Not because I was nervous, but because the last time someone brought me into their world, it came with an interrogation. But Andrew? He introduced me as Emily, the reason I can't stop smiling. His friends were normal. Loud. Messy. They drank bad beer and argued about movies. And no one asked if I was fertile. It felt healthy. Real. I told my best friend, I think I like him. For the right reasons this time. She toasted with her mimosa. To never dating men with mother issues again. But life doesn't just let you walk clean. Not always. Because 2 weeks later, I got another letter. From Beverly. This time, she signed it on behalf of Tyler. The second letter was shorter. Typed. Cold. Dear Emily. I hope this finds you well. Tyler has recently been reflecting on your relationship and the events that led to its end. We believe there were misunderstandings and unfortunate pressures at play that prevented reconciliation. Tyler is currently in a transitional phase and has expressed interest in reconnecting, should you be open to it. I would be happy to mediate a conversation if that feels more comfortable. Wishing you peace. Beverly, on behalf of Tyler. I laughed. Out loud. Alone in my kitchen. Transitional phase? What was this, a corporate layoff? There was something delicious about it, honestly. The neat phrasing. The fake diplomacy. The assumption that I'd even consider going backwards. I poured a glass of wine. Sat on the balcony. Held the letter like it was a piece of bad fiction. Andrew came over an hour later. Saw the envelope. Asked if I was okay. Yeah, I said. Just ghosts trying to resurface. He didn't press. Just kissed my forehead. Made grilled cheese. We watched a documentary about bees. That was all I needed to know I was in the right place. I never replied to the letter. But I did write one. Not to them. To myself. A reminder. You survived the dinner. You survived the silence. You survived the letter and the second one too. You survived being made small. You don't owe anyone your peace. Least of all the people who never protected it. I tore up that letter too. Not out of spite. But because I didn't need it anymore. I kept living. I took a trip to Italy. Learned to make pasta from a woman named Lucia who didn't speak English but called me Bella Ragazza and winked every time I messed up. I got promoted. I bought yellow curtains. I adopted a cat named Jules. And one rainy afternoon, while walking back from the farmer's market, I saw her. Beverly. Standing on the sidewalk, umbrella tucked under her arm, peering into a bakery. She turned. Our eyes met. For a second, I wondered if she'd say something. Come over. Offer another fake smile. She didn't. She looked away. And just like that, I kept walking. No wave. No words. Just rain on the pavement and the quiet joy of being entirely unbothered.